Hey, look at Quad. Why is he looking at himself? Hey, welcome to another episode of the Love Brew podcast. I'm your host, Tommy T, and Artika T is my other host. Is your other host? She's not my host. She's my wife, and I love her. Uh, and the kids are up, so we probably have some special guests today.
Yeah, Lily and her mosquito bite.
Yep, the infamous mosquito bite.
Man, that mosquito mauled that baby.
And that's all I was thinking too yesterday. I was like, man, she fenced to she is fenced to. Cause she was sitting there, I was like, I know these mosquitoes is about to tear her up. And they surely did.
Good morning, Sharon.
Good morning, Sharon.
That one that got her on the forehead though.
I really thought she had popped her head somewhere. I was like, good God.
We walked in the house and I immediately looked at her and said, let me go get some Benadryl spray. Hi, Claude.
Oh man, that was too funny, man. Too funny.
Morning.
So we missed last week. I don't get this boy.
We missed last week because Tommy has finally come to the conclusion via a medical professional that he has allergies. Yeah. Only took a few years.
I was like, where'd that come from, man? I ain't grow up having allergies.
Well, you also don't live where you grew up.
That's true. And they got cicadas. Well, not where I grew up, but I think Nashville. Y'all got
Nashville has them. Memphis does not.
And Chattanooga don't.
Parts of Georgia do too.
Do they?
Mm-hmm. We're just not in the parts of Georgia.
I am glad.
I saw somebody cutting grass in Nashville, and he had on like one of those pull-up masks.
Yeah.
And the cicadas were all over his body. Oh. They were.
This man truly falls like Shaq. Stop, man.
Anywho, yeah, he had them all over his hat, all over his mask, all over his clothing, because he had on like long sleeves and of course long pants.
Yeah.
And the cicadas were just like on him. And apparently cicadas can't bite. Quad.
What are you doing?
Pulling that cord. Oh. Yes, we are both originally from Tennessee. I am from Memphis and Tommy's from Chattanooga.
Yep.
We met in Knoxville.
Yep.
Only part of our lives that doesn't, like, part of the state is the middle.
Yeah.
Because when we thought about moving to Nashville, I cried.
Yeah. That was so fun.
I had a very, like, weird reaction to leaving Georgia.
And the funny part is, I was like, all right, man, let's go. Let's do it. Like, it is what it is. Let's go.
Yeah, this was what, 6 years ago,
I don't
maybe
know how long.
6 or 7 years ago. We were talking about moving to Nashville.
That was.
And yeah, it did something to my immune system. Good morning, cousin Deshauna.
Good morning, cousin. But yeah, man. Steve was telling me about one where he got in the car.
I was actually just talking about Jasmine Crockett went to Rhodes College as well. Rhodes is probably the most beautiful college campus I have ever been on. I actually did a Black Student Association visit there.
Did you?
Is
Rhodes a black college?
Rhodes is the exact opposite of a black college. There were 5 black students during my college visit. So much so that the Black Student Association, no, there were 11. I'm sorry. There were 11 black students.
Shoot, this little boy just did.
No.
He went and got a spoon. Quiet,
I'm
stop. Just finish your story.
there were 11 black students in the Black Student Association, and they were hosting black students from Memphis to come to the school. And
Good morning, Miss
of
Tilly.
course, with there being 11 black students, 5 of them lived off campus.
We gonna talk about it.
So, with those 5 living off campus, we couldn't stay with them.
Yeah.
So, like,
The 5 black students were like were lived off campus.
so it was 11 total.
Yeah.
5
5 was
them lived off campus.
Oh, okay.
So the other 6 was like trying to host it.
There's no reason.
So we did not stay with black people. I stayed with 2 white girls.
in the 2000 and beyond,
Mhm.
that there should be a head count of how many black students you have at a college. Like we should know. We shouldn't be able to say, "Hey, that's Steve, Adam, Jill." Like
There was not
Tanisha,
enough
it's a Tanisha
students.
everywhere.
There was not enough black students to have. They were trying to garner up a way for them to be able to pledge sororities and fraternities.
They were what?
They were trying to like figure out how they
The
could
11
the 11 could pledge sororities and fraternities.
go to the University of Memphis.
Pretty much. Like
Yeah.
they had to do things in conjunction with
Yeah.
Christian Brothers, Memphis, and what other schools there are in the area.
Yeah.
But we watched School Days together, which was very interesting. That's how we got on the subject of Greek life, was because we were watching School Days. And I went on a lot of college tours. It's weird. UT was the blackest college tour that I went on.
Yeah.
And UT is not a very large black diverse population in and of itself.
Yeah.
It's funny because when now as like an alum, like true adults in this situation, when we meet people that are black and they're from UT, we almost immediately know somebody that they know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, remember when we were at Austin's trunk or treat and we saw somebody with the Tennessee tags and she was like, "It's my husband." And we went over to him and he was like, "Yep, mm-hmm."
Yeah. He was older than us.
He wasn't much older than us though, where we wouldn't know any of the same people. But where is he? But yeah, so Rhodes, great time. You're not gonna feel like you're in the city of Memphis when you get to Rhodes if you go visit her there on campus. But it's a beautiful campus. It's a great school. And honestly, it don't feel like Memphis at all. I keep telling Tommy that I'm gonna have to take him by my I don't want to say my newest cousin because I don't think she's the newest, but she might be. Allison went to Rhodes as well. Yeah. It is a very small black world, and even smaller when you don't go to a black school. I don't know what quad is doing.
I don't have I can't give you nothing for Rhodes because I ain't like I heard about it when Greg got married. So yeah, that's all the experience I have with Rhodes College.
Oh, I'm forgetting Lemoyne on because they're also. Oh shoot, that is also a school in there.
I always thought the kids was gonna do something like that, but nope. Leave it to Beaver. Go get one. That's probably a bad spot, but anyway, go ahead. Quad is living his best life, man. Go ahead, man. He does exactly what he wants to do, and the only consequence is he gets a no and maybe a spanking every now and again. But for the most part, he's man. The funniest thing about Quad this week was we have lights going up the steps like motion lights going up the steps. So when you walk past it, the lights are cut on. Motion lights, you get it. But so for about a week, we didn't have motion lights on the maybe 2 weeks. It's been a little while. We hadn't had motion lights on the thing because it's a magnet. You take it off, you can charge them. They're rechargeable motion lights, so you can take them off, charge them up, and then put them back. So Quad plays with them. He takes them off, and they light up. So he's like, "Oh, light in my hand." And so this time, Quad took them and put them somewhere. So that's why they were missing for so long. And then Articulate was like, I can't find these lights. I was just like, I'm gonna try something. So I said, hey man, go get the lights. It took him 5, maybe 4 minutes with me distracting him. Cause I was like, I seen his truck. And so I looked in his truck and
Yeah, he has
like
a 18
a
wheeler,
18-wheeler
but
truck.
it holds
The smaller
his
cars.
cars.
So I looked in there. I was like, it fit like the lights could fit in there. So I looked in there. They wasn't in there, and he was like, basically came up to me like, "What you doing with my truck?" And so I just rolled the truck on past him. That was my distraction. Man, this dude went straight to the lights, got him, and I was like, "Go put him back on the wall."
Like I had been like the lights got to be under his bed. I would come downstairs. I told Tommy about this. I was like, I didn't tell you this while I was actually looking for him, but I would come downstairs in the dark and like walk around trying to trigger the lights to come on so that I could find them. Never worked. And then he just goes right over to him, picks him up
Man,
and puts him
right
back.
to him, man. Put him up and put him back
And they
in.
weren't dead.
Nope. It ain't been working. Ain't no motion been where he put him.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
So I was like, man, this dude here is something else. Um, I'm very proud of Lily. She's finished with pre-K.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that did happen this
Yep,
week.
it happened this week, and she's,
It
officially
last week,
summertime Lily.
Friday, her class, because her preschool or the elementary that she was attending for preschool, did not do a preschool graduation because they do a kindergarten graduation. And so her class, the parents in class got together and put together money, and they had a pizza party. They gave them cupcakes. Um, they got trophies and medals for their preschool graduation. Then her teacher sent home a certificate. So I wish I would have had it on the computer to
What?
post it. Her picture. I put it on my Instagram page though, of her with her trophy and her medal and her flowers. One of her classmates' mom got three of the girls in class flowers. So it was really cute that
What you do?
they all had their flowers in their pictures. So Lily also on that
What you
same
do?
day got
You want
accepted
some juice?
into
Go ahead.
the school that I wanted her to go to, which is weirdly enough a closer school to our house, but you can't be zoned for this school. So she got accepted into that school. And so I've completed all the paperwork for her to attend. And now this summer, mom and dad have a 19-page packet to go over with Lily to get her ready for kindergarten,
Yeah.
complete with a summer reading list, summer projects that have to do with shapes and colors, and of course the alphabet, sight words, things like that. So we um we are working through that packet. Actually, Lily and I started on Thursday with trying to learn the kindergarten poem, and we read one of the books last night, but she has to do like some type of and I gotta look it back up. But it's some type of like diagram that she has to do, or not diagram. It's like the equivalent of a book report for a person who can't write. Like draw pictures, be able to tell who the main character is, um,
Go ahead, Clark.
things about the story,
Y'all go ahead.
and stuff like that. So that's what we're working on now.
Yeah.
In addition to our own reading adventures.
Man, you took that conversation way past where I was going with
Well, you was
that.
doing something. I didn't want to just sit here quiet.
Speaking of kids awards and stuff, um, it's two videos that I've seen this week about kids awards. One is I we kind of talked. You sent it. Well, you sent both of them to me, but so one video, I think they were at an award show or awards program,
The one where the mom was.
and the mom just was like mad and yelling at whoever was on stage because her child didn't get an award.
Mhm. And I again don't know the context. The people in the comments were saying that the kid was in preschool.
Or something.
Yeah.
I didn't like. I ain't get too deep into it, but just the idea, right?
Yeah, and this is Metro Atlanta, so
Just the idea that your child, there's an awards program, and you show up, and your child doesn't get an award.
mhm.
Um, how she handled that was awful, but she has a point to be upset because it's you. I think about it like this. I'm like, it's two ways you can look at it, and I look at it both ways.
Mhm.
Cause I'm like, damn, my child didn't get an award. But then I'm looking at it like, okay, why didn't my child get an award? And so how can we make sure that this never happens?
So the only things that Lily has done to get awards is, well, I won't even say an award. Swim gets a ribbon, right? We still don't know because the video didn't. The
It
video
didn't
just
the
caught the
video just caught
mom
the mom
fussing at the
yelling
guy,
at
and
the
then the
guy, and the
guy
guy
was
was
like, he was apologizing to all the parents, and then the mama grabbed her baby and walked out of the cafeteria.
I'm surprised didn't nobody tell her to shut up and sit down or leave.
I mean,
But she got escorted out.
yeah. Um. So I know that last week Lily had a great swim lesson, right? And she's only got to like do a lesson that good one more time, and she can move up to the next level.
Yeah.
And the mom of the other little girl who was in her group, who started with her, like it was 4 kids that started together, and 3 of them are left. One of them has graduated to the next group. Her mom was,
Cause her sister swims like a
yeah,
fish.
their whole family, like dad is in lessons with the infant.
Yeah.
Like the whole family is swimming. But the other girl who's in the lesson, her mom said, "Oh, she doesn't deserve an award. Lily deserves her award." But she was like, "My daughter wasn't doing what she was supposed to do. She just felt like her daughter got a participation
Yeah.
ribbon."
Yeah.
And I get it because they're 4.
Yeah. They don't understand the concept of let me work for this. Right?
Because there's been times that all 4 of them, when it was 4 of them in the group, got an award, and we're like, nah, the only one that deserves it is the one that has moved up.
Yeah.
But none of us are gonna be like, no, if only that girl would have gotten an award, been like, no, you give my daughter a ribbon. I paid for these ribbons.
Well, I look at it from the standpoint of what my mom taught me is that you gotta work for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like being black, you like the expectation of you. What she said was being black and then being a boy.
Mm-hmm.
You got 2 strikes against you. So everything you do, you must do it in some form of not saying that it needs to be perfect, but you have to know what you're doing because everything you do is gonna be questioned. And I mean, just being a black human being, you see that is the case. You know.
Oh, it was the first grade award ceremony.
Oh,
I
for
just
what?
googled it. It says mom goes on a profane tirade at the school.
A propane?
Profane
Oh,
tirade. That's the subject of this one. I see the article multiple times.
oh, okay.
When her son doesn't win an award.
But it's like, man, you sit there and you look at it, and the way that I would take it is, okay, my child didn't get an award. My child probably feels bad, or they may not. But there's no way that next year they're not getting an award. You get an award for something.
Mm-hmm.
We gonna work at it. And that's the thing for me, is like just realizing those certain things. Is like, okay, how do we work at this so you can get better? You know?
So it was academic awards, and one thing she yelled at him was his report card says different. So apparently he has a decent report card. Um, what did Deshauna say? Allegedly, the school notified the parents
Yeah.
with the child receiving an award. This woman wasn't notified. She came because she saw it on the calendar. Oh, mm.
I mean, yeah, that's what I saw that comment, and I was like, yeah, well, I see why she was there.
That makes sense though, because like Lily got student of the month in September. It's on the calendar every month when
Yeah,
they're doing student of the month. When you show up to the school, if you go in the office and say, I'm here for student of the month, they have you sign in as a visitor and tell you where to
where to
go.
go? Yeah,
But I I don't show up unless my child
right,
specifically has been, they told me mine
right.
was gonna be there.
Stop, man. I'm it's just I want kids to excel, but I also want kids to earn
Mhm.
what they're excelling at, because nothing in life is given to you. Where's his? Go get his. Um, and then the
Here he
other the other
comes.
one that I wanted to bring up was, I think it was a kindergarten graduation, and they would ask all the kids. They'll call the kid's name and then let the kid come
Mm.
up to the mic, and then the kid would come up to the mic, and then they would be like, what you want to be when you grow up. So one kid comes to the mic. She one kid comes to the mic and she says, I want to be pregnant. And whoever was recording the video just dropped the phone. I was like, a lot of people laughed in that moment, but I was like, it has to be something else that this child sees that she think would be interesting, fun, or something more than just being pregnant. And it's like, her being a kid, you don't blame her for wanting to do that, because she's seen somebody being pregnant, and she probably understands, hey, it's a baby in there, and all this. Her mom probably having one of her siblings. uh but it's for her to just be like, when I grow up I want to be pregnant. And it's like,
I remember Lily told me it was a baby in her belly when I was pregnant with Quad.
right, that's fine, right?
Right. But she was also two.
Yeah. But it's like, you think about it and you see it and you're like, you don't want to do nothing else though. Nothing else interests you. Like, I want to be a video game, or I
Well,
want to be Mario or
that's why
Luigi.
I love these little first day of school boards that people have for, well, we got one too, but that people have for their kids. Because one of the questions on there is, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I can't remember what Lily said at the beginning of the school year, but like I've seen a dinosaur,
Yeah.
a ninja, like kids just be coming up with stuff that whatever they think is cool that day.
Yeah.
Somebody was pregnant and she thought it was cool.
That's why I laughed about it. And I was like, man, but at what point does that statement not be funny?
That little girl was in
Kindergarten.
kindergarten.
It was kindergarten.
She 5.
Yeah. I mean,
I
like,
don't
yeah.
I don't know at what point I feel a way about it, but at 5, it's just like, girl, why you have to say that right now?
Right, right.
That's the way I feel about it.
Oh man.
But maybe she gonna grow up to be somebody's
What's
mama.
the
Maybe she
most
gonna be a surrogate.
what's the most like prestigious thing or career you think for people today? Like, cause
Prestigious.
you remember, like, me and you had this conversation a few years ago. Like, being a bank, working at a bank used to be a big time job.
If you had a job at the bank or at the post office,
Yeah,
people
yeah.
thought you had life figured out because you
Right,
work
right. Cause
9 to 5.
right, you work 9 to 5. You work at a bank. You work with money. You
Hmm.
know, U.S. Postal Service was a good job. You know, what today is that?
For kids,
No, for anybody.
I'm gonna say for kids, it's an influencer, a
Yeah,
YouTuber.
yeah.
Like you tell people that you got a YouTube channel and it actually makes money,
Oh man,
they're like, "Oh my god, gotta do it."
yeah.
um, as an adult though, I hate to say it because it's not technically a single
You finna
job.
say
No,
YouTuber?
an entrepreneur. That's
Yeah,
what everybody wants to be, is an entrepreneur.
yeah.
Although nobody, I don't want to say nobody, a lot of people don't understand what it takes to be an entrepreneur. And a lot of people also don't realize that everyday things that they're doing are entrepreneurial.
Hmm.
Because one of the things that I hate most about making money outside of a W 2 is when we file our taxes, I got to pay more for the self employed.
Hmm.
Like, okay.
But
Great.
the
Made a little
crazy
extra money.
the crazy thing with my journey and entrepreneurship is, first off, I ain't find out about it, like truly find out that it was a thing that I could actually do
Mhm.
until I was 30. Yeah, I mean, like, just think back. Like, I didn't think that was a real thing for me. I thought special people
For
became,
you.
yeah.
Okay.
I thought special people were entrepreneurs,
Hmm.
but little old me, I can do it too. I was 30 when I had that epiphany, and then I was 30 also when I realized my granddad was an entrepreneur.
I remember that epiphany for
Yeah,
you.
but people growing up, that's not what's talked about. You go to college, get a good job.
Well, partly because we use the word "little" in front of what people are doing.
Yeah, I
You
hate
got
that.
your little car business.
I hate that too.
She said them little cakes.
Somebody said that to me
You
at
got your
work.
little YouTube channel.
Somebody said that to me at work about my camera.
Uh-huh.
I was like, man, I spent 1,200 plus $1,500 on this camera. Ain't nothing little about this camera.
No.
They ain't what they ain't little.
This is big camera, not
Yeah,
the little.
right, right. Like, please,
Can't do nothing else on this but do videos and take
and take
pictures.
pictures, man.
It ain't multifunctional like your phone.
Right, man. That joke was so funny though.
But I
But
think that that's part of what it is with entrepreneurship, is that we don't realize how many things fall under that umbrella,
hmm,
because we look at it like you must be doing this and only this
yeah,
to be considered an entrepreneur, and that's just not true.
yeah,
You literally could do anything
mm,
in addition to having a job, and that still be an entrepreneurial
yeah.
endeavor.
One thing you can't do is talk about people. So, uh,
Who? Me?
now, now I'm trying to figure out, because you said my
No.
transitions to other
I
stuff,
often
because
say,
I'm
because
done with that
I
conversation
can
about
nip that.
entrepreneur.
You can talk about people in the bud because gossip bloggers are making a killing.
I talk about a lot of folks, man. But anyway, I wanted to get into this Marjorie Taylor Greene and what's her name?
Jasmine Crockett.
Every time I hear the name Jasmine, Jasmine Camacho Quinn comes up in my head, and she's a hurdler and she represents Puerto Rico, but she went to Kentucky. She was
Mhm.
born in the United States.
Obviously, Puerto Rico and Kentucky are both.
You're right, but Puerto Rico had its own Like when you look at like the Olympics and stuff, she represents Puerto Rico.
Which I don't understand, but
It's not for you to understand. It's just
obviously.
something that happens. Um, but she's probably top two hurdlers, women's hurdler in
Hmm.
history. So there's that. Um, yeah, every time I hear the name Jasmine, that's what I think of.
Hmm.
Anyway, Jasmine Crockett, Marjorie Taylor Greene. A few weeks ago, they had a spewing of disagreements towards each other. If you don't know, they are congresswomen. Marjorie Taylor Greene is a representative out of Georgia,
Unfortunately.
and Jasmine Crockett is out of Texas. I'm trying to see what Marjorie Taylor Greene had said. She said something about her eyebrows,
Her eyelashes.
her eyelashes. Like she was saying something about uh Congress not being able to basically hold court or whatever they hold, whatever you call their sessions, they couldn't hold it because some Congress people were at court with Trump, um, in support of him. And
Hmm.
so she brought that up, and then Marjorie Taylor Greene was like basically shut up. She didn't say this. This is me paraphrasing because I don't remember.
She said, "I think your fake eyelashes are messing up what you're reading."
Oh yeah, in which I've seen some eyelashes that look like sweepers, and Jasmine did not have on any eyelashes. Congresswoman Jasmine. And so her response to her was, "Go ahead, this is your part right here. Insert
Oh, I
quote
gotta find it. I don't know
here."
exactly what she
I
said.
pulled up.
Oh, she said, just to better understand your ruling, if someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built, butch body, that would not be engaging personalities, correct?
And whoever was sitting next to the person that judges died laughing, like he was cracking up on the video. Um, but since then, this woman has filed a trademark for beach bad built blonde beach body, whatever she said.
Bleach blonde, bad built, butch body.
Boy, you talking about what's the
Alliteration.
alliteration? Boy, I'm here to tell you, they gonna be saying that in school. But I personally think where we are with our Congress people, they don't really like they ain't doing right. Yeah, she's selling
she
t-shirts
is. She is selling t-shirts.
to help her campaign, which I think is smart.
When I saw that she went to school in Memphis, I was like, that'll do it. I'm not trying to discredit her
No,
Dallas,
she's the same one that like she's like been in the news before for going off on one of her fellow Congress people.
but I can imagine the insults that she has hurled at men trying to stop her at the
Yeah,
gas station in Memphis.
yeah, probably. I'm glad she sticks up for herself, and I'm glad she said something because um Marjorie Taylor Greene was supposed to be her words was supposed to be taken down,
Mhm.
and they didn't.
Mhm.
And so that was her response to them not taking down her words.
Mhm.
Because everything's recorded and stuff like that. So um
Marjorie Taylor Greene has gotten way too many passes for the
oh
smart
man,
stuff
way
that she
too many.
says, and I just don't understand how in life ain't nobody ran up on her yet.
That's called privilege. That is privilege.
It is privilege. It's just it doesn't
That
make
is the
sense
pure
to me
pure definition of privilege.
how nobody has run up on her.
I don't know. And she got elected twice.
And wasn't it some type of something like she don't live there?
I don't know. I
Um,
don't know. But she says whatever she wants to say as if there's no repercussion for what she said. It's almost as the person who throws a rock and hides their hand.
Mhm.
You know. Um
it might not be Marjorie, but it was somebody who was elected from North Georgia who doesn't live.
in North Georgia.
No, they live in North Georgia, but they don't live in the district that they're
Yeah.
representing.
Man, but that's a crazy little situation, man. And she's capitalizing at every point that she can.
The interesting thing is, I wonder, well, not interesting, but I wonder how much stuff like this was said back in the day that we just didn't know was happening because we weren't watching the news. And it's not that we're watching the news now because we're not watching the news.
I
This
watch
gets
the news.
fed to you on TikTok, on Instagram.
That's how some people get their news.
But I'm saying you're not, these are all new mediums from when we were younger that we would have had to sit down and watch the 5 o'clock news
Yeah.
to see them. But it makes me wonder how much stuff has been said that didn't make it out because we weren't directly engaging with the news.
I'm pretty sure we missed a lot of stuff because of that.
I'm sure we did too.
I am fighting back the urge to say BBL Drizzy. BBL Drizzy.
This first off, the internet got way too excited about Drake jumping on the beat.
It made sense for him to do it.
It was terrible.
The verse,
all of it.
Oh, that song was awful. Like Kendrick said, man, when he sees Sexy Red, he must see two bad chicks. But I mean, like it's funny because like every time I think about Sexy Red, I think about her being a plant, and then her because of you, and then her
it's all Cat Williams' fault.
Her teaming up with Drake makes me further believe that she was, because it's like, how did she get with Drake, one of the biggest pop stars in hip hop?
She was
that's no dig at Drake or nothing, but he's a big pop star.
Yeah. Nobody puts him in the, I don't understand how he's in the big, well, scratch that. I'm not gonna go into all that.
F the big three.
No, what I was saying
Kendrick said it's just Big Him.
I know. Well, what I was thinking of that was, I don't equate Drake as being heavy on lyrics to have been in anybody's top 3 rappers out.
But that's the thing though, man. It's like, you can't deny when you think about the top 3, right? It's more than just who's the most lyrical, because the most lyrical is not selling the most albums.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing. What's your criteria?
Right, the criteria is going to change.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like when people say these things, I'm like, but that doesn't fit the criteria
you think about it like this: hip hop, and I don't know where I saw this fact at, but hip hop became the number 1 genre in like 2017, 2018. Who helped push that?
White people.
No, I'm saying, what artists were people listening to help push that along?
You said in what year?
I think 2017. Somebody said
hip hop 2017 singles.
he is a pop star.
Apparently, Future and Cardi B.
Right.
Because the top hip hop songs was Mask Off and Bodak Yellow.
And March Madness is probably my favorite Future song. But anyway, Drake, Kendrick, and J. Cole are like the bigger 3 that I think more recognizable.
Bad and Bougie.
3.
I didn't even realize people recognized Drake as a rapper. Thought he was a pop star.
Drake rapping So Far So Gone. I think that's the name of the thing.
So Far Gone.
So Far Gone was like probably Drake's best album. That was a mixtape.
Kendrick had Humble out that year.
But like Drake's music
and DNA
is like, it's good, even though he got ghostwriters. So what they're saying, I don't care about that. Like we talked about that on Speaker Geekers, and I was like, I don't care about these ghostwriter things,
You got to
man.
be able to pull off that people believe it's you when you have a ghostwriter. And even if you have a ghostwriter, you still got to do something to become a star.
Yeah. Like I mean, like think about it, man. Like R&B have ghostwriters for everything. Nobody ever is.
It's not even ghostwriting. It's literally they will sit down and be like, she wrote this song.
Yeah.
He wrote this song.
And I'm like,
We sat down and we talked about it and we wrote this song.
yeah. I think the issue with Drake is that he appropriates other cultures.
What cultures do you think he's
Um,
appropriating?
um,
I don't think about Drake enough to have an answer for this.
like if he does a Caribbean song, he puts the accent in there.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of just his Canadian accent. Which one thing I didn't realize is,
Canada.
um, I didn't realize how much of a Caribbean culture is in Canada until like recent weeks. They were talking about it and stuff like that.
They have a huge carnival.
Yeah, I didn't know that. So it makes sense that he would, you know. But it's just, you know, Drake is a very popular artist who happens to be in hip hop. Simply put. I don't know how I got talking on Drake, but yeah, he dropped a verse on BBL Drizzy. One of the hardest diss beats I ever heard of. Probably the first.
Let me tell y'all. After that song or that beat came out, as well as what was Kendrick's? What's the name
They
of
not
it?
like us.
Yes. Every time I got in the car with Tommy, he had something from this beef playing.
I did.
And I would be like, you don't listen to no other songs?
Nothing else. This how
because we would get in the car and then halfway through the ride, he'd be like, run it back. We've been in the car for 7 minutes.
Well, you know I'm practicing DJing too, so
in the car?
I'll be anywhere. I'll be working out. I gotta listen to that one back. $1 Million Baby is my jam right now. I love that song.
You know what? There were some girls on TikTok who was like, I gotta learn the lyrics so they could sing the song because they was like, I don't know what he's saying. So I
don't either.
I too looked up the lyrics and I didn't commit anything to
memory. Yeah, it's tough.
But I was like, tough. I was like, man, that's what he said.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's tough. So funny. What were we talking about to get to Drake?
I don't remember. It's not important.
It's not, but the important part is we started off talking about something. Anyway, Cameron went on CNN, man, and I felt embarrassed for Abby Phillips.
I was happy that Abby ended it the way that she did.
I was like, please stop asking this man any more questions about Diddy.
She did the equivalent of God bless you. Get out.
He said, after he said, I'm about to get some cakes after this, that would have been the end of our conversation. But in the crazy part is Cameron where he goes.
And being almost 50,
right,
is a problem for me.
Right. It's just an expectation of a maturity level. I was like, man, I just feel like he should have just did not came on there. But I understand why he came on there to promote his podcast and his energy. It's a energy. It's some type of this horseman thing that he was drinking is his drink.
Not one time did I say, gee, I wonder what Cameron's doing.
Me neither.
After watching that.
Because the thing is, it's like, why ask Cameron about Diddy? But then you got Mace, who probably did not coming on there.
Oh, I'm sure.
But Mace is, who was, like Cameron said, Mace was signed to the man.
So typically what happens is the producers sit down and be like, this is what we're going to talk about. Who can we get that fits the bill for this? All right. Cameron and Mace got a podcast. Mace was signed. Let's reach out to Mace. Mace's people don't respond back. Cameron has a podcast with Mace.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get Mace. And it's not a stretch because they're in the same industry.
Yeah.
Like, there's pictures of Cameron and Diddy together.
Yeah.
So it's not a stretch of never met the guy, don't know anything about him. And on top of that, anytime you sit down for something with CNN, they before they take you into the room, because I've been in the room that he was
Yeah.
in, anytime they take you into that room, a producer comes in and kind of goes over what this segment's going to be about. He knew that this segment,
Well,
if he didn't know directly,
somebody
on his team knew we're going to talk about Diddy.
Yeah.
Now, there was a way that he could have gracefully spinned it to not talk about Diddy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, there's something with Mace, but just like yelling out, "Who booked me for this?" Bruh.
That's the only thing. Like, I'm like, Cameron's response to everything gives me Cameron. Like, that's a Cameron thing to do. My disdain for it came because CNN has two black like ladies who have a show.
When you Google Cameron, it says see also Diddy.
Yeah. It's because of this week.
I know. And so now you put your name with him more.
But it's like, why go on her show and do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's for me, it is a black person thing. You know, it's bro, just say, hey, I ain't finna do the interview, or either answer the questions or don't. But allow this woman to have a good show, because we don't see two black women come on back to back at a prime spot. That used to be Don Lemon spot. They split it up to two women.
Is anybody watching what Don is doing now?
I think he on YouTube.
I just thought about that. I don't watch Cameron's podcast. I like Mace as a person. Like, he was one of
did you see it when he
one of the better celebrities that used to come through when I worked at the jewelry store? Like, he never was problematic when he came through, where you be like, oh, when he walked in the door.
Right.
So, like, Mace didn't bother me when he came in. He was always very nice to us. So no issues there. But I realized that the rap guys doing podcasts, I am not their target demographic.
Right.
Because Nori gets on my nerves on Drink Champs.
Yeah.
I don't watch Cameron and Mace. I've watched a clip or two and I was like, nah, not for me.
I be like on Drink Champs, man. I be mad at they audio, because I'm a snob. I'm like, man, your video could be terrible, but your audio just needs to be A1. You don't even have to have like the big time mics. You can get lapel mics and it still be better than the audio that they using. Because I think it's because so many people be in the room talking, and they just have the big. Anyway, I'm getting too technical.
No, it's chaos.
Yeah.
Like, there's people that I'll see are on Drink Champs and I'll be like, I'm going to try to watch this.
Yeah.
And
because they be having solid interviews.
I just can't get through the interviews because Nori don't be knowing what he talking about half the time. And then he get drunk way too early in the interview to make it to the end of the interview, drunk or high or both. And it's just like, I can't do this.
They be having solid interviews, man. People go in there and they talk.
They do.
They've been drinking.
I agree.
You know,
they do go, and that's why I try. I just can't do it.
Yeah, but the thing about Cameron, though, man, I expected Cameron to be Cameron, but it's just hurtful, or it makes me feel it's cringy to see him do that on like their shows. You know, because they've worked hard to get this show, and then for him to be like, I'm finna get some cakes after this. Like, what if she loses her job?
I mean, she wouldn't lose her job.
I mean, like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't make sense for her to lose her job. But what if, like, somebody watching her show that really gets into her show, and then they be like, well, Why they bring him on here? Stop watching her. You know. Anyway,
He's definitely a why did they bring him on here type of
speaking of
situation,
Diddy,
and he ain't gonna be back on there.
because I don't think we talked about Diddy yet. What was your thoughts on his apology to Cassie or to the world? I don't know
It
who.
wasn't to Cassie.
I don't.
It was.
He can't like in the NDA.
I know he
He
can't
can't
say her
say her
name. I
name.
know it was, but it wasn't to Cassie. It was he felt like he needed to say something, and then also,
Oh, it's because if you guys, I'm pretty sure by now you guys have seen. CNN released a security footage from 2016 of him actually beating up Cassie, like
mhm,
follow chasing her. Well, I don't want to say he chased her because he didn't run, but following her
threw stuff
down
at her.
down the hall in the hotel, threw vases at her. I think he kicked her a few
He
times.
did,
He slammed her. I think maybe
mhm,
punched her.
and then
Um,
drug her.
and yeah, he did drag her down the hall. So it's that, and then Diddy comes out with the like that released on like a Friday, and then Sunday Diddy came out with a apology video. Um,
The irony in this non-apology is that he still has the post up on his Instagram page saying that he didn't do any of it and it's a
yeah,
money grab.
yeah. That's
Which
the
one is
right.
it?
It's like bro, like the big as my coach used to say, the big eye don't lie. So
um I it's never going to be enough, right?
yeah,
For all the things that she went through and anybody else around him went through, because there's so much stuff that was in the lawsuit that wasn't just for her. Um However, just shut up.
yeah. I never would have even said anything.
Then his stupid children, mostly the boy that looks just like him,
Yeah.
out here rapping.
Oh, you talking about the I man, I can't listen to it seriously.
People had to tell me what he said.
Yeah.
But saying that y'all raided the wrong house. And then in the midst of all of this, Quincy and him on the internet rapping and singing, I'm like, y'all can't read the room. Don't nobody want to hear anything from either one of you guys or anybody in that bloodline.
Mm-mm. And this the sad part about it is Cassie also responded to the video
Cassie was the person that put that video out.
regardless of who it
No, I'm
was.
saying like,
Regardless of who it was, but Cassie said which it makes sense, and I think somebody else was saying that you should do this, but she was like, start believing victims.
mm-hmm.
Stop being your first reaction to things is to say no, this person didn't do it.
The only victim that has steered me wrong was Carlee Russell.
Lord Jesus, yep.
That's all I got.
Yeah,
That's the only one that has just outright steered me wrong.
but
Speaking of, I watched
side note,
the the nurse who saw the baby on the highway on Tubi. That was my first Tubi movie. It's gonna be my last Tubi
yeah,
movie.
yeah.
But
I fell asleep through it.
I was watching
I fell asleep through the ending too.
you fell asleep throughout. It was 45 minutes and Tommy went to sleep 4 times. The reason that I decided to watch it was because Cat Williams mentioned her in his live
Yeah.
stand up, and I watched that on yesterday as
Oh,
well.
that's too funny, man. I kept falling asleep.
But
I was
I
like, I
just
thought to myself, I was like, I stopped watching Mad Max because of this.
I just
um,
don't. I don't know.
also Diddy, I think like 2 or 3 more like lawsuits came up this week
hmm
on Diddy for sexual assault or sexual harassment or something. Who's Duke
The
Lacrosse?
Duke lacrosse team. I remember this vaguely, but I don't remember it vividly.
Yeah.
Now, who's Susan Smith?
Um. Oh shoot. Oh okay. Hey, but man,
But going back to Carlee,
yeah,
Carlee really had us out here
we was
with
looking for her.
yeah,
We really
like
was
it's
looking
not
for her.
even like because once she was found, meaning she showed up at home, I was like, all right, so what? Like I had questions when everything came out. They was like they saw a toddler. I'm like, I didn't see no kid in that
But didn't the
video.
Duke lacrosse team rape somebody or something like that? Like they actually did it. I think. Um, man, yeah, man. This whole Diddy thing is.
Susan Smith, I was too young to pay attention to that. All right, now the Duke lacrosse team.
I think they did like rape.
Duke
I
lacrosse
think it was a
scandal.
30 for 30.
I've watched like 3 30 for
Man, I
30s
think
my entire
I
life.
watched all the 30 for 30s.
And all three of them were literally because I have been in a relationship with you. I can't say married because I'm sure some of them were prior to marriage, but
Well, you need to figure out the times we didn't have cable. It's so funny that that's a real thing in my life.
Okay, so 3 members of their lacrosse team were falsely accused of rape.
Oh, that's
This was in 2006.
And they was defending themselves.
In 07, they dropped all the charges, declaring them innocent and victims of a tragic rush to accuse.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, you gotta believe the victim at some point in time, man.
Yeah.
You can't just not like if somebody. You can't just not be like, all right, this person didn't do it because they have great character. But then, like, you look at, because that's how I was with Bill Cosby. I was like, nah, Cosby didn't do that shit. And then here it is, 45 stories later.
And he said he did it.
All their stories that line up are the same.
But and he said he did it. That be the problem for me is when people be saying they did it, and people be like, no.
But that's the sweet. That's the hard part. I see what Hubert's. I see what you're doing, Hubert. But
I don't remember.
That's the
He's
hard.
throwing up these things that I don't remember.
He was older than us.
I mean, I just don't remember.
The hard part about like believing or not believing the victim is, it's gonna be detrimental either way to whoever's being blamed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, something in their life is gonna fall out because of this situation.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's so hard to, especially today, because social media and marketing and all this stuff is so important on basically how you feed your family.
Mm-hmm.
You look at these situations and you're like, okay, how do I not say this victim is just straight up lying, but how do I prove it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and in a lot of cases, like you take this Diddy thing for example, people don't say anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
If Cassie, if this video don't show up, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's only he say she say stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're saying is Diddy had to have done something because of the stories behind it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or how fast he settled with Cassie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's something. He did something. He knows something. This, that, and the other. But the video comes out. We're like, oh, okay. We're like, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? This
His dad's phone is on his
what
phone
you want
to watch something else.
Oh, here. We're looking at the situation like, oh, this is because of the video. We're looking at it here, Lily. Come over here. Go this way. Go back the other way. But because of the what you want to watch? Baby Shark.
I hate Baby Shark. I don't know what you were saying.
I was trying to say that, man. Like we trying to believe the person that says something happened to them, but they have to be able to prove it. But then they're not able to prove it because for different powerful people.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can like for Diddy, he like I don't, he probably used the example of I have control. All right, go ahead. I have control over a lot of stuff in the music industry, and this person is trying to be in it. Well, I won't let you be in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then or the Harvey Weinstein thing over all these movies and actors. It's so hard for actors today
Mm-hmm.
or then, and he's abusing his power.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, bro, how do you prove stuff like that? With you think about it, back then, we didn't have cameras
Mm-hmm.
like that. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't, all this stuff. And it's like, what happens? The whole Cassie situation, it's like, man, how do you ask a lot of times the question of, well, why you didn't do anything right then and there? One, you probably was scared. Two,
Mm-hmm.
this is your livelihood.
And she was high a lot.
So it's like a lot of things come into it, and then it's who it is,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and you're like, man, luckily, like he could not prove it, you know.
Well, that was what his it's a lie and a money grab
Yeah.
started with. And that turns into I was really messed up during that time. I thought it was a lie and a money grab. Which one is it? But it's one of those things like if you're someone that has done these heinous acts, right?
Yeah.
And then you get caught up in it, why and you know you did it.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't you just say nothing?
I don't, because I never would have released a sorry video or nothing. Like I would have said nothing if I was Diddy after seeing that video. Because what can you say?
Be over there in Bali with Russell.
Right. You see, he said he ain't coming back.
Who, Russell?
Yeah. Russell said, I'm over here, man.
I mean,
You want me come over here.
and you gotta find me.
Right.
I'm gonna be in the jungle.
I'm over here, my G. Nah, but I just, I wish there was a way to protect the innocent
Mm-hmm.
in a sense where they don't lose, because you think of I always think about this case with it was a football player. I don't know what, I think he went to Georgia. He was accused of rape, got convicted of rape. He was supposed to go to the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
He
I
had
remember that,
he
but I
did
don't
so
remember
many
what school he
yeah,
was
he
at.
did so many years in jail. When he got out, he had the opportunity, like they gave him the opportunity to get back into the league. And he was able to take it, get in the league, play for a little while, and then, he was off a team. But it's like, man, those years that he spent in jail could have been years he spent in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And everything was basically false claims. And, that's the ruin. And I wish there was some way to protect that
Mm-hmm.
versus somebody actually doing it. And we sitting up here, our first instinct, because
Even those the Central Park Five.
Central Park 5 was one of the bigger cases that I was like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. They never had a chance to.
To prove their innocence, even because they couldn't afford attorneys.
Right.
Their kids.
Right.
Um.
One had just turned 18.
Mm-hmm.
And because he was 18 at the time, he had to go to jail.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
That was a
Um
hard movie to watch.
it was tough. It was tough because we always say innocent until proven guilty, but are we given that same chance?
Not in the court of public opinion.
No. And in the court of public opinion is what kills, like, your income,
Mm-hmm.
essentially. But it's like, it's just crazy, man.
Yeah, that's also like it's one of those things. Like even looking back, the thing that sticks out in my mind is like Meg and Tory Lanez.
Yeah.
People were in such a rush. Like there was two sides. There was the people that were in such a rush to discredit Megan in support of Tory. But then there was all these people like it doesn't make sense to me that people were mad at Megan because the state
Yeah.
prosecuted Tory
I
Lanez.
don't think people paid attention to that or even understands that a lot of times because it has to be explained to some people and they're not hearing it because she was the victim in that whole situation.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that she didn't like she can't.
She can't what?
I mean, like the only thing she could do is a civil court case.
Mm-hmm. And she
Everything
didn't
has to
do
be,
that.
and she didn't do that. And
But she's been made out to be the bad guy in that situation by a lot of people
yeah,
just because they do not like her.
and it's crazy because I think about who was it? I think Slim Thug was the person that like basically was like Diddy, y'all out for Diddy and stuff like that. And then he see this video, he has to walk back what he says.
Yeah, because Diddy was about to buy NBC too. Because that's the story whenever somebody
They said, yeah, that's I mean,
Bill
Bill Cosby
Cosby.
was about to buy NBC.
It's like, no, he wasn't. Yes, he also did it. What else you got?
Man, but it's crazy, man. I just kind of wanted to end us on a lighter note and talk about this Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese in the WNBA. I've been watching,
Hmm.
been keeping up with the game, so I keeping up with my promise.
You gotta
We definitely got to
Tommy got Lily to sit down and watch her first like NBA game. Well, it's
Yeah,
not her first NBA game because she's technically been to
yeah.
an
Well,
NBA
she
game.
she definitely watched the Celtics.
But this was the first time she sat down at home and was asking questions.
Yeah.
She had to tell him to score multiple times.
Well, that was the thing. So she started
I
talking
know.
about
That's what I'm
numbers
saying.
and
It
stuff
was
for me.
it's
But
on her list of things she has to do for
yeah,
school. So
yeah,
it's easy to be like, let's use it in a real life situation.
right.
Score.
Well, my Celtics, yeah, we sat down and watched the Celtics
Mm-hmm.
play the Pacers. But the thing that I want to bring up about the WNBA, this I think it was this week. LeBron James and Charles Barkley basically was like, and I heard Jeff Teague was talking about too, but they were like the WNBA needs to thank
Caitlin.
Caitlin Clark or be more, thankful for
Mm-hmm.
her. And Angel Reese's response to that was basically she ain't the only one.
Mm-hmm. She's not.
Uh she's not, and I think it's a very unfair thing that they're doing as far as like how they're promoting the WNBA. Yes. What
Caitlin was not the only um college athlete star that people were talking about
yeah.
this last season.
I'd say they got their popularity, and I'm saying they because the whole rookie class is a part of the we gonna watch the WNBA now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like people were watching because of Asia Wilson, Aaliyah Boston, um, Kelsey Plum. Like they're the stars of the WNBA,
Mm-hmm.
right? But here's a whole draft class of stars
Mm-hmm.
who have storylines, who have things like Angel Reese went to the Met Gala, and then came back and beat the unbeaten Liberty,
Mm-hmm.
to help her team beat them. Um, Caitlin's been scoring, but she's had like we've seen her have some trouble, in these first few games, like the fever.
But shouldn't she?
She should.
Like
She should.
everybody's acting like this is like she was gonna come through and dominate these girls who've been playing their entire
Like what
lives.
what people don't realize, man, Jordan got drafted in like 85 or 86.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't win his first championship to like 91. I
Look at
mean,
you.
when
Look at you, historian.
I love Jordan. The only thing about Jordan,
Not just the shoes.
right? The only thing about Jordan that I wish was like growing up, I could afford the shoes.
Hmm.
That's the only thing. I love Jordan.
And I
Like
got them for
tongue out and
free and
all.
wouldn't wear
Yeah, like man, I wish I want to be a Jordan head,
them.
not sneaker head, a
I
Jordan
wish
head.
I would have kept
I have the warm bumps and everything, man.
a lot more things from that era in my
Yeah,
life because a
but
lot of this
growing,
stuff got re-released
yeah,
and my kids could have taken those because it's not like I got shoes all the time because
yeah,
my mom worked for Nike. So literally my shoes never got beat up.
yeah. But it's like man, and when Jordan got drafted, man, like it was Magic and Bird who
Mhm.
saved the NBA because of the rivalry that they had in college.
Mhm.
Same situation coming for the WNBA. Caitlin Clark never won a championship in the in college.
Mhm.
So here comes she goes to the pros, and what they're saying is I don't forget who said this, but I think you told me about it. Was somebody one of the pros or I don't know. They're basically Caitlin Clark struggles is basically telling people that the women in the WNBA can play.
Mhm.
They can hoop,
Mhm.
you know. But it's like it's all an adjustment thing for her,
Dawn has brought me back
Don
to,
Staley.
yeah, I know. I was reading the
Oh,
sentence. Dawn brought me back to women's college basketball and the overall hype these last 2 years made me want to pay attention to the WNBA.
yeah, right.
Uh Plies bought Dawn out at a show.
Did he?
Yes.
How'd that go?
She was on stage dancing.
Was she?
Yes.
That's so funny, man.
um
Mustard on a beat. Du- 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 du.
um yeah, like for me, I pay more attention like high school sports wise
Mhm.
to women's basketball because my math teacher
Mhm.
was the girls basketball coach.
Yeah,
My stepdad coached girls basketball in the city of Memphis at
yeah.
Northside. So, Charles is sensitive to that argument of never winning the championship.
And
He is.
he should be, man. 'Cause I would be like mad at Jordan because Jordan's the reason why.
But like leaving high school with like me watching women's basketball in high school and then getting to UT and like the Tennessee team was not
Yeah,
one to be messed with.
yeah.
And we were there.
We won a national championship while we was
Yeah,
there,
that's what
right?
I'm saying. And we were there
Or they won a
during
national championship while
Pat
we was
Summit and Candace Parker.
there.
So it's like, again, we focused on women's sports.
Yeah,
Like football was life at UT, but we wasn't winning.
yeah. Not like the women's basketball, and then the boys basketball turned up.
Yeah, they did. They did get better.
Yeah,
Bruce was out here
coaching
standing on tables.
Bruce. Man, that was the first. That was the
The
first
first
introduction
interaction
in the
to Bruce,
UC.
yes.
Yeah.
Was
Like,
Bruce
whoa,
standing
whoa,
on
whoa!
tables.
Who's this guy?
Who is this man and why is he up here yelling?
Who is this white man up here?
But like so I didn't watch the WNBA because it's not accessible. I'm not paying extra money to
See,
get the
that's the thing now.
WNBA league pass.
That's the thing now. It's like it's they're having more games on ESPN, but you're not seeing the rest of the people.
Mm-hmm.
The game between Chicago Sky and the Indiana Fever, they're gonna have that on like a prime time thing because it's basically Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark for the first time in the professional ranks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's gonna be a big game to watch
Mm-hmm.
because of this quote unquote rivalry. But all them girls are working together to bring more eyes. They've gotten a chartered planes now, which they needed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think two more teams have been added.
I heard about that.
Um,
I don't know who the two new teams are.
One is called the Valkyrie. I know for sure. They're out of San Francisco. Um, but they're getting bigger, and so they're gonna have more people in the league. So I mean, I think it's all good, but I do also think that the WNBA should utilize more people from this rookie class to
Mhm.
also bring attention to.
It's the Golden State Valkyries and the Toronto the Toronto WNBA team. It doesn't have a name yet.
Oh, okay, yeah. I knew it was I knew it was two of them.
um Golden State gets
Bay Area,
added in
25,
25
right?
and Toronto gets added in 26.
Okay, but that's 24 more people. I think they have a 12 person roster. 24 more people that can be in the league.
Mhm.
You know, so that's expanding. So I mean, like all of it is a good thing. It's just like to see this to actually see what they're doing and stuff like that, man. It's you know, hey, utilize your tools, all your tools.
Somebody was like, Memphis needs to get a WNBA team. I was like, y'all don't support the Grizzlies.
Right.
Hush.
Nah.
Hush. If anybody in Tennessee would get a team, it would be Nashville.
Yeah. Nashville probably would be that. But anyway, that's all I got for this week, man.
Yeah, we went over 15 minutes.
We did. We did. So um we thank you guys this Memorial Day weekend. So
Hmm.
you guys enjoy some barbecue, enjoy the extra day off if you got it. And get out and have some fun. I cut the grass yesterday, so I don't have to do it today. Um, yeah,
They need to figure out how to get them some money. But just think when Jerry Buss bought the Lakers, the WNBA wasn't even profitable. Maybe this is the turning point.
I think this is that's what the hope is for me. I think it is the turning point for the WNBA. But yeah, we love you guys. We appreciate you guys for hanging out with us for a little while this morning. Enjoy your day, enjoy your weekend, and peace.
Bye, y'all.
Mustard on the beat.